Hello and welcome to Bam Bam Raw TV. Now, today we're going to address a podcast video that was done where a guy from Penitentiary was on Terrence Gangster William show, and he called in and he was talking about the incident in which New Orleans and Shreveport were stabbing each other, and which I was mentioned in that situation. And as they say, I accept the alley oop from Terrence Gangster William, and I'll put a little more clarification on it. It's so much more to the story, but I'll just kind of clarify some things. I'll end up telling the full story later on in my in my uh, in my TV program, and I'll end up telling the whole story later on. But right now, I'll just address some little detailed issues because it is a long story. It got so many compartments that build into it, and each one of them is, I mean, they're as interesting as inciting as just the stabbing part. But in that, the guy, he mentioned that it was 400 of us there, and that was about accurate. It was 400 Louisiana guys, probably 200 something from New Orleans, probably 25 to 30 from Shreveport, and others from Monroe, and all through the state, from the tip to the top of the boot. And we were down there, and one of the things I addressed that was, we should treat people right in our own backyard, because we got the majority here, but we can't be abusing individuals because they only got 5 or 6 people, because they have the privilege of being in their own back. We have the privilege of being in our own backyard, where we can receive visits, we can do a lot of other things. Well, we didn't have that luxury. When I started off, I was shipped all the way to USP Florence, where me, Meatball, and Big Bouncy, and a few more other homeboys, about 6 of us down there. And every other mount or group of people, they was like 100, 60, 70 deep, but yet and still we held our own and made them respect us. And then, we gathered our respect. So we felt like a dude should be respected as a man. I don't care if it's 1 or it's 100. You respect him based on who he is, not how many of them it is. And so I kind of relate that, and I relate some other different things going on. But in that situation, I end up going to the hole because they found 3 knives in the cell. When they found 3 knives, it's a big story with that too. When they found 3 knives in the cell, naturally, because I had just came from Supermax Marion, it's deemed that if you get caught with a 100 series shot or 200 series shot, you automatically go, within a year, you automatically go back to a Supermax if you came from a Supermax. And coming from Supermax, I was already on the red card, which means that where other inmates only have to be seen at count time, I had to go report to the nearest officer every hour so that they would have eyes on me and know that I'm not somewhere involved in a violent incident or whatever. So that was one of the things. You be on that card for about 6 months to a year when you come from a Supermax penitentiary. So in that course of that time, they took me to the hole for the 3 knives. They took me and my cellie both to the hole for the knives. And back there, my cellie told the people that hey, I had just got there. I only had been there a few months, and I wasn't, I didn't know the knife was in the cell and everything. So they let me out. When they let me out, the incident had occurred. Well, the incident that he speak of with Scoob, where guys had I guess they tried to bring Scoob a move because he was I don't know about him being a big time man and had all this that the guy insinuated he had, but he's always been a smart businessman. And the insinuation is that I helped that I was there on Scoob's behalf because he was the money man or whatever on the compound. It don't fit my MO, because I can make my own money, get my own money when I was in that life. My thing and people looked out for me based on a lot of other different things, people from all over. But Scoob, the history with me and Scoob is his big brother is one of my tightest friends. I used to eat at Scoob mom's house. Scoob mom them drove me back to reform school when I had juvenile life, me and his brother. You know what I'm saying? So I've been very close to that family. And Scoob is not just a individual to me that was getting some money, or he just a dude that I met. Scoob is always had been, he's a businessman. That's who he is. He's not the kind of guy that's gonna run up on somebody and stab you over a few dollars that you owe him. He'll just cut you loose and let you hang yourself. And some people didn't like that because he give a lot of dudes opportunities. They abused the opportunity, and he cut them out, wouldn't give them nothing else. But moving on from that story there, moving on from that situation there, they try to bring Scoob a move. As the dudes say, the incident happened. One guy get hit in the mouth, the other guy got his teeth knocked off going on. By then, so shortly after that, they let me out the hole. When they let me out the hole, I mean, I'm not a dude much for politicking. I'm just a dude. I do what I think is right. I do it and I live and die with it. So anyway, when they get out, and I'm like, okay, well, somebody need to explain to me how would this homeboys would do this here to another homeboy, like that. So I mean, how's we living down here? So most of my homeboys was, and actually a lot of my homeboys were reluctant, especially neutral homeboys, and they was reluctant to really tell us what had happened and who had did what and going on. So I actually had to talk to the homeboys from different parts of the South who knew me from being afar, because when we away like that in other areas where the South is not that, we're not that, Louisiana is not that deep, we have to come together under the South, and all the South will hang together in order for us to be enough people to actually even be functional. It may be 6 from Tennessee, 6 from Florida, 6 from here, 6 from there, and going on. So we all come together and we just be hanging together as South homeboys because we can relate to each other. So Bloated would be the guy that dude mentioned was I guess he was the shot caller for Miami on that yard, because a guy position changes depending on where he go. So he was a shot caller for it on that yard, and when he knew about the situation and everything, because we hung together when we was at other compound as the South, we had already had a semi-alliance. So when he come to me, he asked me, he said, man, I hear about what's going on like that. He said, man, it's like 200 and something. It's 200 something New Orleans dudes, man. If Shreveport and New Orleans finna get into it, man. He said, man, I've been, you roll with me. I've been there with you, you've been there for me, man. I'm gonna be here for you. He said, man, he said, I can't let you go get no 25 of y'all go get no 200 people. I told him, I said, listen, man, I appreciate that, but I don't want no involvement from no other group, because I don't want the dudes who we getting into it with to take it out of context and make it, and make it look like we went and got aid from somebody else to aid us with our own homeboy. And I assured him, I told him, you'd have seen my work before you've been around me. I said, once I get to touching the first one, get to dance with the first and second one, then you can guarantee they gonna get out of my way. I said, I can pretty much assure you that. He said, well, man, I hear what you're saying. I respect what you're saying, Bam. He said, well, man, I'm just letting you know. I'm going to have my people. I'm going to be out on the yard. If they start getting the best of you, because he know I don't like it. He said, they start getting the best of y'all, man. He said, I'm jumping in. You just going to have to be mad at me, man. He said, I ain't going to let it happen, bro. He said, you're a good dude. You stand on right and going on. Since you've been here, you've been trying to get everything right, get dudes to respect you. He said, since you've been here, you done stopped more lockdowns than I seen, period. So I told him, I said, okay, I appreciate it. I respect it, because I would do the same thing in your situation. I said, but trust me, I'm not going to need you. So as the situation went on, as the situation went on, the guys, they was sending their little demands, and I was saying, hey, listen, man, I tell you what, I'm saying, hey, man, I don't, they brought all this property, and I didn't know what, they brought all this property to Marcel and telling me, hey, well, you get all this property, you get his stamps, and you get this and that, and since he ain't coming back out going on, I told him basically I don't want his stuff. That's his. He let him get out here and get his own stuff. And like that, he coming back out to get his stuff. If he ain't coming back out to get his stuff, then all us gone, cause we shutting it down, man. I said, it ain't gonna happen. Not while I'm here. I said, so we can either try to all get along in our own backyard, enjoy our families, enjoy what's going on here, or we all gone. Simple as that, man. Ain't no ifs, buts, ain't about it. So after making that statement, they went back and they continued to politic, and the individuals, it was 3 or 4 credit dope fiend individuals from that part that was influencing young little soldiers that was coming there to keep that New Orleans Shreveport thing going, like in the state and going on, instead of understanding that this the Fed, they had never been out their own backyard, so they didn't understand that we got a more cohesiveness in the Fed. So they had the guys side with them basically just because they was from New Orleans, not because it was rational in what they were saying. So as they go on, but I had a few New Orleans dudes that they big homies who was gangsters and legends had been with me in other places. So they seen the pictures and stuff I had from their homies, and they read the back of the pictures, but their homies was saying, hey man, look here, from the tip to the top of the boot, man, I roll with you anytime, bro. You were there for me, bro. So when they seen this, those guys used to come to me under cover of night, as we say, and I look out for them on cigarettes. We talk, we have a good conversation. I tell them something about their legends. So those guys, we had like a little connection. So they come back to me and they tell me that, hey, listen, Scoob is getting out the hole Tuesday. They're gonna send Hound up there, and Hound is gonna bring Scoob a move as soon as he get off the lieutenant's office. And because Scoob has been in 2 incidents within the last 3-4 weeks, then that's gonna make him get shipped. Hound ain't never been in no out, so he's like a torpedo. He like a they was using him as a torpedo. So when the guys tell me this, I'm like, yeah, he said, yeah, man, they gonna, when Hound up there doing that, Tuesdays when they let out your lieutenant's officer, he said, well, Hound up there doing that, they gonna bring y'all a move because they know you ain't gonna lay down for that. So while Hound doing that, at the same time, simultaneously, they gonna be easing up on y'all to bring y'all a move. So I said, okay, like that. He like, man, please, a couple of them like, please, man, don't let them know I told you that. I said, no, man, they'll never know, man, you told me. I never tell them that you told me that they're going on. I said, but, so I looked out for them on some cigarettes and everything. I said, but just let me know the particular individuals who I need to be concerned about. You going on? So he like, they went on and they told me the particular individual, the 13 individuals and going on who was particularly supposed to be, had their eyes on each individual going on. So when they had their eyes on, I guess, on us, then I put eyes back on them. I had eyes put back on them. So we come out on that Tuesday. We that I think that Monday we sit down and we talked and everything, and I talked to some of the men within the Shreveport thing, and I understand, hey man, I love my daughter, I love my family, I want to be here, but I'm not gonna be on no compound. What these dudes is doing this here and going on, and ain't nobody gonna do this here to no individual. Not no, especially no homeboy not around me. I said, so now it's up to y'all what y'all gonna do, but I know what I'm gonna do. So anyway, I know dudes don't come after me, I go after them. So I'm not, if you coming after me, then what I'm gonna do is I'm finna do a preemptive strike. Then you coming at me and I know you coming at me, then I'm gonna do what I have to do to meet you in the middle of the ground and stop it. So based on that, there we all decided, everybody decided and everything. So we come out on the yard that Tuesday, and they was trying to be inconspicuous, but because we had foreknowledge of what they was doing, we see everybody in position. So my concern was for Scoob, because he getting fresh out the hole, and he was coming out the hole naked. You come out the hole, you ain't got nothing, you walking out, you ain't got no weapon, you ain't got nothing to protect yourself. And this guy, Hound, who was the torpedo, so my thing was to stop him from being able to make it to his destination to be able to hurt Scoob. So I had eyes on him. Everybody else had eyes on whoever they had their eyes on. So we come out on the yard. They looking, because now when they see us, they kind of figure like, okay, but he do, somebody done tipped him or they done got jack wise. So Hound is at the gate, and we meet each other at the gate, and like I say, me and him end up, the antidote is that me and him have a meeting later on at Special Management Unit, Smooth, and he rolled with me when the officer was trying to abuse me and going on. Him and Aiden and some of the men, they rolled with me. He sit here and told me to my face that, hey man, I respect you. Everywhere I went, people respected you, bro, and you told us right, man. He said, what you was telling us about our yard, everything you was telling right. But my dope free homeboy played game with us and then laughed at us when we was in the hole, told us they played game with us. He said, man, if you want to finish this whenever we get on the yard, he said, we can finish this here. He said, but as for me, big homie, I'm through with it. And I told him, I said, I hear you, I respect that. We'll see whenever we get on the yard. So anyway, we moved from there, go back to the story. So when I'm walking down the thing, because Hound about 6'4". So when I'm walking down the walk, I see him. You can tell that he's scrapped by the way he's moving and going on. I didn't see no vest or nothing on him, but I'm sitting there searching him with my eye. So we walk up on him. I don't think it was much for neither one of us to say. My job was to stop him from getting up there and being able to hurt Scoob, because Scoob would have been unarmed, whereas I was armed and he was armed. So it was more like we got to dance. We could dance neck and neck, best man win. So when I got close enough upon him, then that's when I come out with my knife and I hit him in the jaw and snatched it down, opened it up. Then when I did that, he come down, he hit me in the head. He hit me in the head. So as he hit me in the head, I come back up again and I caught him round on the side by the neck. So then he caught me round on the side by the neck. So then when he do that, I come up and I remember that he didn't have I didn't see no magazines or nothing on him. So I go for his rib cage and I try to go up under his rib cage. I don't even know if I was successful at that, but I did get his attention because he spent and went that way. But by the time went that way, my man 8, he came over and caught me on the side of the head. So when he caught me on the side of the head, I turned around and grabbed the collar of his shirt. When I grabbed the collar of his shirt and pulled him to me, and I started hitting him. I was hitting him in his chest, but I was trying to catch him up in the throat, but I just wasn't tall enough. And he paddling back, and as he's paddling back, he started hitting me in the top of my head. So he started hitting me in the top of my head. So I finally started trying to get up on my tiptoe and try to come down and hit him in the eye, hit him in the eye to kind of discombobulate him and everything. But when I rose up to do that, I caught him somewhere along up around the neck, and he stumbled and hit the ground. So when he stumbled and hit the ground, I got to hit him a couple more times in the neck. And at that particular time, that's when police ran over and tackled me and rolled me out for him. So to keep from losing my knife and everything, I had to focus on shaking loose and getting away from the police. So when he was trying to roll me down and secure me, I just jumped up and didn't engage him and got away from him so that I could still maintain my knife and not be vulnerable or be a victim. So then I stood up, and so they got on top of 8 and started kind of like protecting him. So we standing around and they pointing the guns at the small tower in the yard, and they basically telling us, everybody lay down, throw your knife, this cut your knife, we gonna shoot. And so based on what I had seen in several other penitentiaries, I don't believe in disarming myself so everybody else is laid down, because I've actually seen guys who disarm themselves and the police put them in handcuffs, and some of the guys who've been laying in wait from the rival group will come over there and run over there and start stabbing them, and the police will run off and leave them while they still handcuffed. So I try not to put myself in that situation, so I refuse to do it. And then that's when they I guess they got my name from captain or whatever, but they just said, Richardson, throw your knife down and lay down, or we gonna shoot. This is the last call. This is the last call. So I still looking, well, they gonna have to shoot me, because I don't see everybody else laying down. So when I looked, I seen everybody else laying down except me and 2 other guys from Shreveport, basically. When I seen everybody else laying down, I threw my knife just far enough in front of me that when I laid down back, if somebody came out the crowd to try to bring me a move, I could run grab it in time enough to be able to protect myself. So I threw it down, and they come got me, and they lined us up, they handcuffed us, took us all off the yard, they took us to the medical, few of us at a time. So many of us got stabbed. They was going through the thing, taking us to medical. So I go back in there, and the captain come see me in medical, and he sit there. He said, man, I forgot the SIS dude name. He said, man, what you call him came to you, man. He was trying to. I said, listen, man, I don't talk to no SIS about nothing going on in your. He asked you what was going on. How could y'all stop this? And I told him, I said, man, I don't discuss nothing with no SIS, man. I've been down since I've been down. I don't do that, man. I said, if something happened concerning me, just clean up the compound after I'm gone, or clean it up, whatever. But the other than that, I don't do that. So he said, well, man, we didn't want you here in the first place, man. We know we didn't want you here. I said, well, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that, man. I came where they sent me. He told me, man, I'm telling you, we didn't want you here. I said, all right, I hear you. I know that too. He said, man, I seen the video. He said, man, I was looking at the video. I said, all right, man, I don't know nothing about no video because I don't know what you're talking about because I ain't done nothing. He told me, man, he said, I'm telling you, I'm looking at the video. I said, all right, I hear you, man. He said, man, you're a motherfucker, man. He said, I'm telling you, boy. I said, yeah, I hear you, man. He said, man, I'm telling you. He just kept saying it like 3 times. He said, man, you're a motherfucker, man. He said, you're a motherfucker. Started laughing. They left me. We went on out there. They took me over to the shoe. When they took me over to the shoe, I stayed in there, and we was over there. They sent it to the feds. The feds sent it back. They gave us incident report for everything, and they, I guess, to put protection on themselves, they left certain stuff out, the incident reports and everything, and I mean, I got no problem with that, either way it go, I was in for a penny, in for a pound. So when the feds sent it back and didn't take it, they gave us our disciplinary stuff going on, but I didn't do the disciplinary there because I wouldn't take no selling. I mean, I had a seller in there with me who was he was the one got hit in the mouth, and he was a whiner and this and that going on, and I kicked him out the cell. Then I went, basically went without a selling, and in 22 days they got me away from there. I ended up doing my DS and doing my loss of privileges at USP Lewisburg when I got there. But that's basically that's a little more detail about the incident. There's so many other different elements that goes into it, but I think that's a little bit more about our state of mind or what was going on as far as bloated being out there, as far as the individual Scoob, and as far as this is a little, like I say, it's a lot of more that connects into it with the situation with my celly, the knife shots and the different things that I had caught that led to that opening being on the compound, because I do believe, and everybody else do believe, that if I hadn't have been in the hole, that the homeboys who did that would never have done that. But my answer was that they thought, because they knew that if you come from a Supermax and you get caught with a knife or 200 series shots, you go back. So everybody figured that I was going to be gone. They figured that I was going to get shipped. And so therefore, that gave them the leeway, or they gave them what they thought the safety valve to do that, because I wasn't going to come back out the hole. They thought I was going to get shipped right back to the Supermax Marion. And I think that, like I say, I'm going to get to stand to break that whole story down from tip to top. And it's a lot more different elements that goes into that going on. That's just a little this small version of to try to clarify some things that was said concerning it going on, and I didn't want that misrepresented. And all right, appreciate it, and thank you for being a part of Bam Bam Raw TV.